real lives, real people. Non-Identity Podcast. The Non-Identity Podcast is sponsored by Limitless Power Boxing. Find them on Instagram for all your boxing needs. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching and listening to this, and welcome to another episode of the Non-Identity Podcast, proudly sponsored by MPP Personal Trainer and Champs Boxing Gym. Now today I'm joined by a very special guest. He's done what most men would love to have done all before the age of 40. He's managed a team in the FA Cup. Welcome, Mr. Stuart Webb. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to meet you. Right, before we go on to the FA Cup story, let's go back. Where was you born and where did you grow up?
Born in Lewisham in June 1983. Grew up around the Downham area all my life. Well, till I was about 11, then moved up to North Downham. If you know Downham, you've got a north and a south part.
Okay, no, I don't know Downham.
So yeah, grew up in the north part of it until about 11. Went down to the south part of it until I was about 21. Then moved into Eltham with my missus where I'm now.
Okay, and what was childhood like? Fun?
Yeah, it was all right. I suppose I wouldn't say it was the same as everyone else's childhood. Mum and Dad split up when I was about 9, so it was like spending the last weekend of every month with my dad and his new I was like family.
Yeah.
And then back to my mum for like three weeks of the year, 3 weeks of the month. So yeah, it was all right. I mean, I just done the normal childhood things that you could do then, but can't do now, like stay out until it got dark and, you know.
Time to go home in the street light.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
And what school did you go to and what subjects did you like doing at school?
Started off at Foster Park, which was obviously North Downham side. When I moved from there, it was Rangefield in the south. That was just off Downham Way. Left there in 94, showing the age now. Went to Sedgwick until 99, and then nothing really. Subjects was always PE. I found a love for drama at secondary school. I used to love that. But yeah, it's mainly PE, and anything that I ever got to think. Well, PE was different. But anything else I didn't have to think hard, like with like history, geography, and things like that.
Right, things
I'm really interested in all that.
Yeah. And what did you do when you left school?
Absolutely nothing. To be fair, I didn't know what I wanted to do. It's only for the part. It's only been the past 5-6 years that I've actually found me really in terms of what I want to do, which is a career in football. But yeah, I had countless jobs. I was working in a warehouse, driver's mate, cleaner, anything really that I could just get a little bit of money to pay bills and things like that.
Yeah. So with the football side of things, did you always wanted to manage or?
Yeah, I mean, when I played, I also, like, everyone is into like the FIFA games, but there was a game that I used to love called LMA Manager, which was purely just management, and I hooked on that. FIFA didn't really bother me. I wasn't really interested in the playing side of it. It was just management, tactics, thinking about things, all football. I mean, I'd even turn it off and go to bed thinking about what I was going to do the next day. It was mad, yeah. But yeah, always management for me.
So then, how did you qualify to be a manager? What course did you have to take?
When I was playing for a club called Junior Reds. We played on a Saturday. Sorry, I played on Saturday. Wanted to manage, so about the age of 28, I said to the chairman, "Look, have you got any teams to manage, like youth teams and that?" So I started for under 12s. Because of that, I had to do an FA Level 1. Spent 2 days at Marathon Ground.
And what does that entail? Sorry.
It was
studying. Is it
kind of? It was a bit of like coaching. It was a bit of your safeguarding, and there was a bit of like emergency first aid, which you've got to renew it every 3 years. But yeah, I think we spent 2 days on that. Obviously passed, and then it's just, to be fair, I'd carry on doing it like FA Level 2, 3. UEFA B, UEFA A, then Pro, but it's just too expensive.
Yeah,
way too expensive.
Do you mind asking how much courses cost roughly?
I've looked at the next one up for me, which is UEFA. It's Level 2, but they call it now UEFA C. And that's like £290, I think that was. Yeah.
And it's not guaranteed you work after.
No, exactly. You just get that, and then you could be working in Sainsbury's week after.
So, who was the first team you actually managed? Was it a kids team or an adult?
Yeah, it was Junior Reds, because I was playing for them and managing So it kind of worked out for me. Yeah, I managed junior reds from under 12s up to under 21s. Moved from them to a team called Rustlers under 21s, done half a season of them, and then moved into here from Belvedere Reserves.
And how did you find out at here from Belvedere Reserves? How was it there?
You know what, it's an eye opener, a proper eye opener, because like when you manage like kids teams, under 21s teams, you've got to do things like everyone's got to have the same amount of time on the pitch, and it's not about the winning, it's the taking part. I don't believe in all that. No, if you're going to play, you want to play to win. Otherwise, there's no point doing it. But yeah, what it was, I saw an advert on Twitter about a new ladies team for here from Belvedere. So I said, look, I don't mind, kind of going to that. Went in for the interview, and the bloke doing the interview said, look, to be fair, we're starting up a men's reserve team. I need an assistant manager. Do you want to jump on board with that? And I was straight in it with that one. So, of course.
And then what goes into, like, because even from Belvedere, like a semi-pro club, aren't they? So what goes into like the day-to-day running as a manager of a semi-pro football club?
It's a hell of a lot. It's a hell of a lot. From what I can remember, it's a bit of time ago now. With the reserves, it wasn't too stressful. It was like, just got to get the players in, got to get them registered, and then like just fill in team sheets for the day, work for the games and that. Obviously, you work out training, what you're going to do. It's mainly just like being really like just like a babysitter for the first team. When I went up to the first team, it was a whole different ball game. It was like, if you weren't training for any good reason, you ain't playing. Whether you turn up or not, you just go home again. If you're not performing, somebody else is going to come in and perform over you. Just like it would with like a professional team. It was like there was times that I'd been in the change room listening to the manager saying things. I'd be like, wow, like you can't. Like it just was youthful. You get booted out.
Yeah. And obviously, you train with the players and stuff, so relationships build up. So how hard is it to separate your personal feelings with the way someone's performing when it comes to picking on a match day and stuff?
For me, it's I don't know. It's a bit it's kind of hard. I'll go from my experience at Pallet Wood, because I was a proper manager there. I had a boy who wasn't really, well, not a boy, a guy who wasn't performing the way he wanted to, but we kind of got along really well. But for me, it was a case of like, I recognised straight away that it was just a confidence thing. And once he hit one goal, it carried on. So I had to keep like telling him that he was so like down on himself, like so feeling sorry for himself. And then he got that one goal, and then I think the game after, I think he hit like 6.
Oh wow!
And it was a case of like, well done, like I told you it would happen. Just you get that one goal, and the rest will follow.
And what are changing rooms really like during our time and stuff?
What do you think of that?
Like, because obviously we only see what happens on the pitch and stuff. What can you get hairy in the changing room?
Oh man!
And is there any changing room stories that you can tell us that you've seen that got a bit out of control, or?
There's none that's out of control, to be honest.
Has it been very heated before the changing room?
Yeah, it can be, especially at half time. One of the games I remember here from Belvedere, I was obviously, because I was like an assistant coach there. We were in a cup final, I think. I think we went in half time 1-0 down. And we all sat down. The manager started talking like really quietly. And then a cup of tears went flying. Just hit the wall, splashed everywhere. He's going, I've told you this, I've told you that. Like, whoa! Like, this is what I love, but I've never experienced it like in front of me. Yeah, I was kind of mad. But then the week after that, it's mellow again, and like, just like, do this properly, do that properly, do that. And like, you're thinking like, this man's like Jekyll and Hyde.
And how much, if you've had a bad weekend and a bad result, do you take home?
Me personally?
Yeah, when you manage.
If I've had a bad weekend or a bad result on a Saturday, no, don't talk to me until the following Saturday until we've won. That's just what I'm like. I mean, I suppose at home with the missus and the kids, it's different. You go back into normal. Yeah. Me personally, you go back into normal dad life and husband life.
But do they know sort of to stay away a bit if you've had a bad?
They know not. I think they know not to. I think they know that as soon as I walk through the door, but my son's a little bit of a git. He'll say like, "Did you win?" I'm like, "No." He was like, as usual, please shut up. But yeah, my wife's like different. She was like, I was football. And like, to be fair, she's good as gold with football. Like, I could literally have a football conversation with her like I could with anyone in the pub. And she'll understand exactly what I'm on about. She'll give reasons back, but she's brilliant like that. But yeah, in terms of like player wise and friendly wise, like until next victory, like, just be wary.
And how much pressure do you get from a board or the chairman if results ain't going the right way, and how much do you take on your own shoulders yourself?
It was different here in Belvedere because, like I said, the reserve team, you kind of just got left alone really with it. I wouldn't say that they didn't care about it, but it was like focus was on the first team. So reserve didn't. I wouldn't say that it didn't matter because obviously they still got the name of the club. Yeah, it wasn't so important, I suppose. The first team, when I went up there, like I said, I went as an assistant coach. I think because the manager had so much success at other places, they sort of gave him the time.
Right, okay.
Which was a good thing for him. When I went in as the interim manager, which was about 4, 5, 6 games, because the manager had left, and I was the only one of that coaching team that stayed behind. So obviously I knew the players and that. I was told that there was no pressure from the board.
Right.
All it was is if I didn't take over, the club would have folded.
Right, okay.
So I was
sort of about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, so really, there was no pressure there. The only issue I had was that it was a week before the transfer deadline. All the players with the previous manager had left, and I had to bring in new players like week in, week out.
So how does the transfer deadline work? Because usually you see it, is it a phone call, we want this player, or is there like medical checks?
No, there's no
Has money got to go in, or contracts been signed before the deadline? Or
I don't think there's contracts. I think it's just like a registration paper.
And that's what got to be done before the deadline.
Yeah.
So you can't have like a verbal agreement saying.
You can. It's called like a 7-day. Like, let's say if you was playing, let's say for tennis me, and I wanted to sign you, I'd have to put in a 7-day for you, which means I have to contact the club.
Right, okay.
And say I'd like to speak to Lee Parks. Can I put in a 7-day? But then I can't speak to you then for 7 days.
Right, okay.
And then after that 7 days, we can speak on the phone. You can say yes or no. And yeah, it's kind of. If you don't understand it, it's kind of complicated. Like you would think, like, why can't you just ring up and say, do you want that? Do you want to come over? Why not? But yeah, in terms of money, I didn't experience no money signing. Obviously, some players do get paid from clubs, but I didn't deal with none of
that. And football in a whole, like seeing this thing from the manager side of things, do you think it's fair the amount of pressure on managers and all that? Because you can tell your team as much tactics as you want, but if they don't go out on the pitch and listen to it, is it your fault or is it the players' fault?
This is a big debate, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Because a lot of managers get the sack, they're the ones who get sacked and stuff. But for that 90 minutes, the manager's not on the pitch with the players. The players are responding in their own minds. So how do you feel? Could you experience it from that side of things?
I hate that. Right. I hate the fact that the manager gets the sack. For no matter what happens, the manager always gets the sack. Yep. The manager can prepare. Like you could have 5 days of training, like obviously professionals do. If you don't go out and perform on that Saturday and you lose, it's down to the manager. Where like the managers don't like overseeing things like tactics, overseeing things like scouting report and things like that. But yeah, it's just I suppose it's just a perk. Well, not a perk, but it's just the way it goes. I suppose.
So you said earlier you've managed both men and ladies football. Which one's easier to manage, or are they both the same? Or
what a question! Easier to manage. In terms of listening, I'd say the ladies.
Yeah.
Because the men have got
egos.
Not all men.
Some blokes have got egos.
And they've been playing since they were like 6, and they know how. And they're all Ronaldos. Whereas for me, it feels like the women haven't done all that, but they really want to learn and they're listening. Obviously, you get some girls that are the same. They've played since they were 6, and they know everything they know everything, and no man can tell me and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of listening, I think the women. In terms of technique and that, obviously there are some women that have got it, but I think men just edge it a little bit. I think.
Okay, and same sort of question. So you've managed children, young people, adult men, adult ladies. Which one have you got the most enjoyment out of, or has each job been enjoyable?
Yeah, it's all different. I mean, for the kids, there's nothing better than seeing the kids win on a Sunday, especially if you've worked hard on the previous training. If you've got a kid that's not so good, but he turns in a brilliant performance, that's your weekend made. You know, and you're buzzing just purely off that, and you can go into next week and say, oh, well done you. With men, I don't know. I don't know. It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. With women, I think it's the same. a little bit of both, really. A little bit of what I said with the kids, a little bit of what I said with the men. It sort of combines with the women.
Okay. So obviously management ain't your full-time role. So what do you do at the moment to pay the bills?
Right now, I'm a window cleaner.
Okay.
Which is good because then I just get around the jobs. Once I'm done, I'm going home. But I don't really think about work when I'm at work. I think about football when I'm at work. And the next big thing and what I can do, especially like if I'm in a club, like I used to work nights, I don't anymore. But when I was working nights, I was manager of Paddock Wood and Youth Lovely and all that time. So I'd spend my nightly just cleaning, plus thinking about tactics and what I could do in the next training session and things like that. So it was always football.
And how do you put your tactics together and your training sessions together? Do you go off last match performance, or do you do a general assessment of your players and see what needs improving?
In pre-season, you do that. Me personally, you just set up like a 6-week block of things you want to work on, and then the next 6 weeks you work on something else. For me, in the season, when the season begins, I think in pre-season as well, you just have a block of whatever you do in training. I think it's more like just maintaining them, just getting them to remember what to do and things like that during pre-season. So results ain't even important in pre-season for me. It's about performance. When the season starts, you definitely go off the previous match. Like if you concede corners, then you're going to be working on corners. If you concede because your left back's so far up the pitch and they've hit you on the break in that place, you're working on positioning. So it just goes about.
Okay. Right, so on to the FA Cup day now.
Yeah.
So how does that compare to anything you've done in the past? Right, is there a different feeling because you know it's FA Cup?
Yeah. For me, I mean, look, for you as well, probably like you grew up in the FA Cup as a kid, always watching on TV. So when you're involved in that, no matter what level it is, like I think it was like first qualifying round, which was like early July, late August, whatever.
It's still the FA Cup.
But it's the FA Cup, and like you're thinking, wow, I'm actually involved in the FA Cup.
And does anything different have to happen? Is there like, because it's the FA Cup, is there different like paperwork that has to happen?
Yeah, slightly different. There's just like more.
Did the FA come down and see you? Or
some matches they do. We was told that obviously we played Peacehaven at our place. I think we drew 0-0 one with them, so we had to go back to theirs. I think that was on like a Tuesday night in Peacehaven, which is like around Brighton here. So we travelled down there. I think we won on penalties that one. And then we went to Chertsey, and we were told that would be being filmed or like live or like BBC Three, like Red Button. I think. I don't think it was in the end. I think they chose something else. But because Chertsey the season before that had won the FA Vase, I think it was more focused on them than us, really. But I don't care.
And did you get much media attention locally and stuff around that week?
I think we got a little bit. Yeah, it was well. I think it was well publicised around the local area. We had quite a few fans there, but I don't think it was like thousands or anything.
So, and how did you feel the night before? Knowing that you had a chance. I know because you said it was early stage.
Yeah.
But you're in a competition, it's the FA Cup, there is a slight chance on any day football. You don't know the result. So did you ever think, right, we could go all the way? Or totally back
I didn't even go all the way. I thought, well, like you said, like in 90 minutes, anything can happen. It's cup football. But I mean, that quickly changed when we got there and the game happened. It was like 1-0. Actually, to be fair, I think we went up 1-0. I think we went 1-0 up. And then it just all turned around and it was like, this is it. So
the night before, what was you like?
Night before, I was nervous, quiet. Just thinking of what could be, really. And just thinking of like, it's the FA Cup.
Exactly.
The FA Cup.
So moving on as well, we both share common interest. We both took part in white collar boxing. To raise money for cancer research. Did you read your about?
No.
On my mind, just to let everyone know. Why did you get into that, and how did you find that?
Right, starting at the beginning, my mate used to box, so I used to go to the gym with him and just spar with him, like help out, do the training with him, go and watch his games.
Football, the bike.
Football, here we go. Go and watch his fights, wherever he was, and you still join in with him. And then, I used to spar with him. He used to tell me that I was good and whatever. I think it was lying. But then I saw like a white collar thing in Bromley, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that. So try it. The training was hard. I kind of forgot what the training was like, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. But yeah, got into it. The fight itself, I was like bang last.
Right,
I think it was like 15 fights. I think there was.
See, I went second. I think that helped.
Yeah.
So even watching the first one, because they make you get there so early in the day as well, to obviously do all your medicals and stuff. I think the later the night went on, I don't know if. So the fact that I was second fight, I think it really helped.
Yeah, I was like bang last. Like I was standing around with my cousins and my missus and my sister-in-law, just like standing there watching the fights. And I think all that standing made my legs heavy.
Yeah.
And like about 10:30 at night, it comes to my fight. So I'm like going in like quite heavy and like just really like kind of lethargic. But then you get hit in the face and you kind of wake up a little bit.
Yeah,
so yeah, the first fight, apparently, according to my corner, I was up on the first round. But in that first round, I didn't. I sort of got like that, left me ribs exposed. I whacked twice in it, breaking it.
Oh, you broke it?
I broke my rib. So obviously couldn't breathe. I don't know if you broke your rib or not before, but you can't breathe, man. You cannot breathe at all. So I'm trying to fight second round, and it wasn't the fact that I was knocked down; it's the fact that I just couldn't breathe. So I went down a couple of times. In the end, the referee was like, "One more, I'm going to call it. I'm looking after you." I was like, "Do you do what you've got to do?" I don't even care about winning. And then, I think I got hit, and I went down again. Not because the hit done me, but because I just couldn't breathe, and I was struggling. And then that was it really. But I really want to get back in and just put it right. And
I'm 50-50 about it. As things are going on, I caught the bug of it. I think I do want to do it, but then I just think, because I didn't win, I want to target my 100% record. So, but the biggest thing I found with the actual training, like I don't know about you, fight day weren't too bad. It was more, I was very relaxed on fight day, but the battles you go with your mind during the training about are you good enough and stuff like that, and like if you get a niggle or something like that, can I carry on? I found that the real, you don't actually realise how much in your head you get.
Yeah.
When you're
exactly that. I did say that coming out of it. Like I was like when people asked me how it was, I was like, you don't understand how much boxers do.
Yeah,
like,
you just watch on the TV.
Yeah, you just watch him like punching the hell out of it.
And it looks like it's just pillows on someone's hand.
And then like, you do it, you're like, wow, this is mental.
Like, I know we had head guards, and I think it's.
We didn't have head guards.
Oh, we did. No. Well, maybe we could even worse. It's about 10 or 15 ounce gloves, isn't it?
I think that's 16.
Yeah, and they still hurt.
Oh yeah,
exactly. So these guys been punching like 4 ounce gloves. They're virtually punching with their fists.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable. It's made me a bigger fan of the actual sport.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Because I appreciate a bit more what goes into it.
I know what they get up to,
But I just couldn't believe how much psychologically it affected over the 8 weeks. It didn't help that it was moving house as well.
Oh,
so like we was moving into here, so it was like had that going on, plus the training, and then the night before I pulled my muscle.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I think on the Thursday, our usual coaches couldn't train us, so they put us in a semi-pro coach thing, and he made us do press-ups with the gloves on. And as I went, so this was on the Thursday, and our fight was on the Sunday. And as I went down, I just felt a pull on my shoulder, and I woke up and I couldn't even lift my arm. Like on the morning, I had to chuck over my boofer thing, just to be able to lift my arm up. Because I thought I was going to pull out and everything, but I'd sold all the tickets, we raised all that money for cancer research, so I just couldn't. But I was that close to pulling out, I just couldn't.
I think the morning of, obviously we had to be there like 5 in the evening. So it was like a Rocky marathon from about 8 in the morning till after there. Like I was watching like Rocky. I don't know if that inspired me or anything. I obviously didn't. I lost stuff. Like fight night, I got there and I was just relaxed as anything. I didn't. It's weird. Like it was like I wasn't even fighting. And then I looked at like the fight list and it saw like me versus whoever I was fighting. I was like, I don't even know who it is. Like because obviously like you fight whoever you're training with, kind of thing. Yeah. So I didn't even recognise the name. I was like, I don't even know who this is.
Right. Last question before we wrap up. This is the same question I ask everyone. So, whatever you answer won't change the effect and the outcomes of your life journey so far.
Right.
But what would you now, if you had 30 seconds with yourself when you was younger, what would you tell yourself?
Sort out your your coaching badges as early as possible. Like literally, as soon as you leave school, join a club, get your coaching badges, just get in, just get your foot in. Even if you're going to be like a kit man somewhere, that will get your foot in. Even if you're going to just go and shadow a coach, just watch what he does, just sit there, take notes, just do it. rather than sit at home and wonder what you could be in like 5 years' time.
Okay, and before we finish, is there anything else you want to talk about? Are you managing the team at the moment?
I'm not at the minute. I'm talking to a few.
Sorry to interrupt the interview. Just to let everyone know, obviously these interviews are not recorded in sequence. So, Stuart, we spoke about 5 weeks ago when we recorded this interview. And as we all are aware in football, 5 weeks is a very long time. So you do have an announcement. So what would you like to tell us?
Yeah, about a week ago, I became the manager of a club called Dulwich Village. They're a club in Kent County Division 2, which is a decent standard. So I'm looking forward to the season ahead.
So what are you hoping to do for the club?
Just install a bit of passion to them, really. I had my first session today, which was pretty good to be honest, although a bit hot. Yeah, it went well, so that's all I can ask for.
And what do you think of the squad so far? Is there much improvement they need, or do you think you've got a pretty decent group with you at the moment?
I didn't meet the squad that played last year. It's more like a trial session today, so we're hoping to add a few players to what's meant to be quite a good squad already. So should be good.
Okay, well, I hope everything goes all right for you, and hopefully you can come on towards the end of the season and let us know how it's gone. Good luck in the position. I've got one last question to ask you, which we ask every guest that comes on. The answer will not change anything that's happened in your life so far in your life journey. But if you had 30 seconds with your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
Do well at school for a start. Probably to do my coaching.
I hope that the season goes well for you, and good luck for the future. On the way to the Premier League, yeah?
Fingers crossed.